views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
Hello, and welcome to Art Time with BXArtsFactory. My name is Sajata-E, and I am excited to be partnering with BronxNet TV to bring you this episode. Today, you will get to know a little bit about how I became an artist. We will also be creating and learning how to create a weaving loom using everyday objects. Sajata-E for D2BD is a handmade, slow fashion lifestyle brand company focused on sustainable living and socially responsible products. We work with nonprofit and for-profit corporations to create creative textile-based workshops that are geared towards teaching communities how to live a more creative and sustainable life. All of our products are made in the USA and with loving hands. So my journey into becoming an artist wasn't easy, to say the very least. I am the only artist in my family. I went to business school in the beginning when I was a child. So I went to Dodge Vocational High School and majored in business. When I asked to go to the Fashion Institute High School, I was told no by my family and was sent to business school, which was disappointing, but it was also a blessing because I was able to apply business to design when I grew up and was able to do what I wanted to do and didn't have any discouragement from anyone. But I majored in business in the beginning, business technology, and then I didn't go to design school until I was 19 years old when I was able to go to college. So I went to a fashion design school for 2 years in Manhattan. It was a private school for fashion and design. And I majored in fashion design for 2 years, and then after that, then I, decided to go and start my own label because I really didn't see any other way to go about it without losing my name or my identity as an artist and as a designer. So in the beginning, after leaving school for 2 years, then I did freelance work. So I did freelance pattern making as a designer, and I did that for other artists, which made me a good chunk of money. I was able to make upwards to $150 to $200 per pattern for other designers, and then I used that as capital to start my lifestyle brand. So I did that for a few years, and then I started going to costuming because I wanted to really practice my art. So I went into costuming and I did costume design for different houses and theater for a few years in Manhattan. I did that for a few years and cut my teeth a bit in design and costuming. And after that, then that's when I really started to become known locally as an artist and designer, and I became a lot more confident in my design. But doing all of that while I was experimenting and going into different houses and doing the work, I started realizing that there was a lot of waste in my field. There was a lot of waste. People threw away a lot, the design industry is a very creative field, but it's also one of the most wasteful fields, and I really wanted to focus on looking at that waste and doing something a lot different with it, because I didn't see trash when I saw that waste. Other people did. They saw scraps of fabric and, you know, different clays and whatever they were using, paints, and they saw, okay, I don't need it, it's garbage. And I didn't see it that way, and I wanted to do something with it, and that's when I started using our waste to design clothing and accessories. And one of the first designs that was ever published of mine was about MetroCard. It's a design magazine called Ready Made magazine, and it was an eco-friendly magazine. And they saw my MetroCard belt that I had created. So I took MetroCards and I created a belt out of MetroCards, and they loved the design. They were like, well, we want to publish you. So they published the design, and that was my first full-page publication, national magazine, and I was 23 years old, and I couldn't have been more happy because I was not only the first artist in my family, but I was the first nationally published person in my family to ever do anything, and that was really exciting for me, and it really gave me a lot of encouragement. Today, you will need a cardboard coffee can, a pair of sharp scissors, a hot glue gun, some pretty duct tape, some popsicle sticks, a loom pick, some yarn, a ruler, a pen or a pencil. All right, let's begin. First, we're gonna prep our coffee can. Now, I want you to make sure your coffee can is completely clean. There's no residue in it, and if you can, make sure you take off the wrapper of the coffee can so that you can maneuver your project. So just take the wrapper off, just like this. Oh, so hard. Just rip off that wrapper. So you want to get all of that off. Make sure your coffee can is nice and clean. You're going to take your debris, oops, and put it to the side. Then you're going to get a ruler. And you're just going to measure down half of the coffee can. Okay? And you're going to make a little notch down half of the coffee can with your pin, like so. Now, once you have that little notch, you're going to go ahead and get a sharp pair of scissors. Okay? Now, once you get your pair of scissors, I want you to score your coffee can with your scissor. Be careful. Just make a little hole with your scissor. Okay. Now once you put your hole, I want you to get your scissors and just start cutting around the can. Okay, now, once you've cut your coffee can, you're gonna take the bottom end, put it aside because you don't need it. Now it's time to heat up your glue gun. Now you wanna heat up your glue gun ahead of time just to make sure that you're not waiting around for your glue gun to be in use. So just plug it in, heat it up. And as you're waiting for your glue to get ready and heat, we're going to arrange the popsicle sticks. So, I'm gonna get ourselves some popsicle sticks. And we're gonna prep our loom. So what you're gonna need is a ruler. And what you're gonna do is take your ruler and your pin, and you're just gonna make little notches, 1/4 of an inch from each other at the top of your coffee can. So you wanna do that all the way around. Now that you have your can and you have your notches all the way around your can, if you still have glue on your can from the wrapper, don't worry about it. I'm going to show you how to fix that. So, what you're going to do, by now, your glue should be hot. So, you're going to take your popsicle sticks and you're going to take your can and your glue gun. And you're just going to take some glue, go a little line down, and then place your popsicle stick 1 inch from the top. Now, if you cut your can properly and it's a standard can that you would get from the store, make sure it's cardboard, okay? But if it's a standard coffee can from your local supermarket and you cut it in half, it should literally equal 1 inch away from the popsicle stick from the top. So as you're placing it, you're just going to place your popsicle stick from the bottom to the top, and you should have 1 inch remaining. Okay, now that we have all of our popsicle sticks on our can, it's time to decorate it. Not just decorate, but also secure it, right? And what are we going to do that with? Some really colorful duct tape. Now what we're going to do is take our can and our duct tape, and we're just going to get a piece of duct tape off. I'm going to lay our can to the side, starting from the top. We're going to gently place our duct tape around the can, making sure you press in the middle of each popsicle stick. So that little space between the popsicle sticks, you want to take your thumb and just press down. So not only does this decorate your loom, but also it helps gently secure your popsicle sticks on the can. along with the glue. You're going to take your scissor, make a little cut, watching your fingers, of course. You're going to glue it down. Now, we're going to start again. And this time, we're going to tape the bottom of our can. You just want to press down. Once completed, you should have a loom that looks just like this. Pretty simple, right? Now that we have our loom, it's time to weave. Now, some people call these weaving looms, some people call them knitting looms. I call them weaving looms because technically this is not knitting. When you knit, you use 2 needles, but we're going to be using a knit stitch on this loom. Okay? So you can call it weaving, you can call it knitting. It's still a loom, but we're going to be using a knit stitch on this loom, just to be clear. Now, what we're going to do is take this loom, and we're going to be using some of my studio yarn. This is yarn that I weave in studio. You can find it in my store. And we're going to take our yarn, create a loop, and place it on one of our popsicle sticks. Then, going from left to right, we're going to E-wrap all the way around our loom. Just one time. Now, when you E-wrap, you want to do this loosely. Now that you've E-wrapped around, you're going to E-wrap one more time. Now, once you do that, you're going to take your finger and you're going to hold on to that stitch. Don't lose the stitch. Now, you're going to pick up one of these little loom picks. You can find this at any craft store in New York City. And you're going to gently pull the bottom loop over your top loop. And if you have to hold the string, do it. Now, after you do the first loop, you're going to pull each loop from your bottom over the top loop. Gently pull your loop over from bottom to top. And you're going to do this all the way around. Now, once you pull all your loops over, then you're going to take your string and you're going to, you guess it, E-wrap again. So you're going to take your string and just gently wrap it around each popsicle stick until you get to your last E-wrap. And that's it. That will give you a knitted fabric that will go right through this hole. And once you repeat the pattern, you will get a fabric that looks just like this. Now, you don't have to knit in just a tube. You could also make a scarf. So you don't have to go completely around. You could also create a stopping point so you can go back and forth around your loom in order to make a wonderful scarf. Catch us next time with BronxNet TV when we will be joining Sade Swift. And she'll be teaching you how to create handmade greeting cards. Thank you for joining us for today's episode of Art Time with BXArtsFactory.